So we're going to start working on this Tarte Citron here, and we're going to be topping our lemon tart with an Italian meringue, which we'll get to a little bit later. And I have our cold tart shell right here, and this is baked all the way through because this tart is just going to be refrigerated. I'm making a lemon cream here for this instead of the baked custard version. A lot of those baked Tarte Citrons, they're just way too tangy for me. I definitely prefer a more creamy and more mellow lemon flavor. The lemon flavor is still there in this recipe. It's just not going to pucker your mouth up and be just way too sour, in my opinion, a lot of the lemon tarts out there. So this is a slightly sweeter, creamier version of the Tarte Citron. And so we're going to get started on this lemon cream, and I'm going to show you how this goes together. So to get started with this lemon cream, I have some granulated sugar here and freshly squeezed lemon juice with 1 lemon's worth of zest in there. Do not try to use the bottled stuff. It's just going to taste like fake garbage. It's not the same thing at all. So we're going to start out here by combining the lemon juice with the sugar, and just a pinch of salt goes in there, a little bit more. So just go ahead and dissolve that sugar. And then you can just set that to the side. So now that we have the lemon juice and the sugar combined, I'm going to go over these ingredients here. I have some softened room temperature, completely room temperature, soft unsalted butter here. This is 82%. I could recommend using the Vermont Creamery butter, or at least the Irish butter. And then the other thing I have here, and as always, I'm going to be letting the entire recipe and everything down in the description box, so don't worry about that. If you're interested in making this exact same lemon tart, you'll find everything down below the video in the description box. This is lemon pastry cream, and all this is prepared pastry cream, which again I've done many times on this channel. The recipe will be down in the description box with some freshly squeezed lemon juice and zest in there. Pastry cream will definitely add a depth of flavor to this tart and make it a lot more creamy. And when it sets up in the refrigerator, it'll be sliceable but still soft and unctuous, very delicious filling. I've got some eggs here and some more granulated sugar. So we're going to start out here by taking the mixing bowl of a stand mixer, and I'm going to place these eggs right in there. Then just throw in the granulated sugar. So now what I'm going to do here is whisk this up. And you can give this lemon cream a head start by whipping this by hand vigorously until the eggs lighten slightly. Then I'm going to whisk in this lemon juice and sugar mixture that we mixed a little earlier here. Again, you could whisk this quite vigorously here. So now I have a sauce pot with about 2 inches of barely simmering water here. I'm going to just take this off the burner right for a second here because this has been boiling a little too much, so I don't want to scramble these eggs. So I'm going to put this over top of this and just beat this vigorously the entire time. And get yourself a digital thermometer. It's very important that you keep track of the temperature of this. You want to bring this to about 180 degrees Fahrenheit. So there you have it. It took about maybe 10 minutes of constant whisking, but as you can see, your lemon cream should be nice and moussey. It's thickened up quite a bit. Don't take this over about 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Whisk the entire time, and if anything at all looks like it may have scrambled, or if there's any noticeable lumps or bits, then you're definitely going to want to strain this at this point. I believe my lemon cream came out perfectly. It looks nice and smooth. So now the next step is to just let this cool down to about 140 degrees. It should take about maybe 5 minutes or so. Just let it cool down slightly, and then we're going to whip this unsalted butter into it on the stand mixer along with the lemon pastry cream. So just let this cool down a little bit and we'll get back to this. And now just start adding the butter a tablespoon or so at a time under high speed. So there we go. There is the finished lemon cream, and it is quite liquid. It will set up, because of all of the butter in this, it will set up into a nice sliceable consistency as it refrigerates. I definitely would let this at least probably 4 hours or something. Overnight is better in the refrigerator before you make your meringue. So you can pretty much just pour this unctuous, delicious, yummy cream right into this tart. Here we go, guys. I've left our Tarte Citron French lemon cream tart firm up in the refrigerator, and as you can see, it's completely set. And now to finish this delicious tart, we're going to make an Italian meringue. And the reason why I'm going to do the Italian meringue version as opposed to the French meringue, which is just basically you're just whipping egg whites, sugar, and some cream of tartar, where this Italian meringue is actually with a cooked sugar syrup, so that the egg whites can firm up better, and they will keep their shape for a much longer time. So I don't expect this tart to be around too long, but it's always nice to know that your meringue topping is going to look just as good the next day as it will the day you make it, because as everybody knows, French meringue has a tendency to kind of weep, and it loses its shape after a while, so it doesn't taste as good either, where an Italian meringue will actually set up better for you for toppings for tarts and other desserts like this. So to do this Italian meringue, you're going to need room temperature egg whites, granulated sugar, some purified water, a little bit of vanilla I'm going to put in this, a pinch of salt, and cream of tartar, which I'm going to turn into a tartaric acid solution just by mixing this with a little bit of hot water, just so this dissolves easily in it. So the first step is just put your sugar and water into a heavy bottom sauce pot. And this is just a little bit of liquid. I'm just going to bring this to a boil and basically just boil it for about 4 minutes, and it'll thicken up slightly. And while this is coming to temperature, I'm going to start whisking these egg whites here in the stand mixer with the whisk attachment. So the two most important things whenever you're making meringue is you want to make sure that your egg whites are completely at room temperature and that your mixing bowl has no fat or grease residue inside. Make sure this is very clean because that can mess up the whipping process. So I'm just going to put this in the bottom here. I'm just going to start whisking this with a hand whisk. And this is just so the whisk picks up this egg white because it's such a small amount. So I'm going to put in some cream of tartaric acid solution into that a while to stabilize these, and just a pinch of sea salt, just a little bit, balance out the sweetness. And then once you have that whipped up a little bit, you can put that on your stand mixer with the whisk attachment and start whisking this up a while, and let it whisk up a little bit and get your hot sugar syrup. I'm also going to throw in just about maybe a 1/4 teaspoon or so of this vanilla paste here. Not a huge amount. The next step is to take your hot sugar syrup and stream that down the side of the bowl, trying hard not to hit that whisk. It's almost impossible to avoid completely, but if you practice at this, you can avoid it mostly. And just stream this in while it's whisking. So you can definitely pipe this tart in any number of different shell patterns or however you'd like to do this. I'm just simply going to opt to mound this on here and give it a decorative finish. And then we're going to toast this meringue with the torch. I want a good amount of that meringue on there. I can never get enough of this part. So okay, here we go. These are our two finished spectacular summer French fruit tarts that I just completed here, and I got the inspiration, as I said, out of Eric Kaser's French Pastry Workshop baking book. I believe this is from 2017. He's an awesome pastry chef. I highly recommend checking out this book if you can get a hold of a copy. And so even though I did make some modifications as needed, and I did a different topping stylistically, I just prefer a little more simple toppings. They're just easier to do something like this than pipe it, but you could easily pipe this. And then so that's the lemon cream tart, and then the other one here was this. Now he made his with apricot in a creme d'amande or frangipane filling. He did top his with the pistachios. Here's my version. This was made with organic nectarines, but as they say, the proof of the pudding is in the tasting. So now we're going to go ahead and do a little taste test comparison here, and I'm going to let you know what I think of both of these adorable fruit tarts. Okay, so now for my favorite part, obviously, is actually tasting these unbelievable French fruit tarts here. And I'm going to start with the nectarine, organic nectarine in the creme d'amande frangipane. The organic summer fruit always shines through in these types of fruit tarts. It's definitely one of my favorite types of dessert. The ratio of wet to dry, it's very moist and incredibly flavorful. You can taste that delicious buttery pastry, and all of the flavors in the nectarine tart meld very well. The tart fruit along with the frangipane filling has a distinct flavor to it, and the toasted pistachios on top, very sophisticated but yet not that hard to do for a nice meal. You should definitely consider this. And so now I'm going to try the Tarte Citron meringue. I'm not saying that right, obviously, but it's very nice. I'm going to just try this out. Yes. The lemon tart is very fresh and citrusy, of course. You know, you have that prominent lemon flavor, but yet, as I said earlier, this type of lemon cream is a lot less tart and sour tasting than just the baked custard that you see other people doing. This would be a superb dessert for a heavier, like Italian meal with pasta, like lasagna or something like that. You would want a fresh, fruity, light dessert like the lemon meringue tart. The organic nectarine frangipane tart would be something more that I would serve like with tea or coffee. It would go perfectly with that for brunch or something like that. But I definitely would make both of these. I would make both of these desserts again for sure. I think they're both quite nice. So please consider supporting Cineposh.com. You can find all kinds of tasty desserts on there for sale that for pickup at my shop. You can order right there online. And for my local, it's just for my local subscribers only. Unfortunately, these types of desserts I'm not equipped to ship these frozen, so I only sell to local subscribers. So if you're local in the Harrisburg, Lancaster, York area, I'm in Hershey, so if you're close there and can pick up at my shop, then please do check out cineposh.com. I'll leave the link down below, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.